Okay, right to the side sex. Leave the fire and the roof styles. Up on the grind like we're chasing the stars. From Millmore to Do Valley, we've come so far. Talk about legends, yeah, we know the score. Ronnie and Bobby, we remember you more. From the highs of the Wembley fight to losing our trousers, still we ignite. Red and white with the pride, we're never gonna bow. Fighting like middlemen, hear the roar now. We're middlemen, we stand up tall. Through ups and downs, we give it all. From Millmore to Do Valley.
Good evening and welcome to your latest instalment of Midweek Millers on the Rotherham United podcast, KV Terrace Talk Millers edition. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Bez or Bez, or just call me David, whatever you want. And I'm joined by three guests. We will start with the king himself, Mr. Lee Bush. You all right, Lee? How's it going?
Yeah, good. I'm concerned how smiling this Stevenage fan is at times. He's smiling far too much for my liking.
He came on, that came on, and I think all three of us were about to go off, and that was going to be on his own. And we've also have reliable Pete. How you doing, Pete? You all right?
Yeah, I'll got a bit crap with no football, but as they were England, don't get me started on them. But yeah, looking forward to the weekend, mate. See where it brings.
And as we've already kind of discussed, we have a special guest, a Stevenage fan, Matt Farley. Who's what's your podcast called for our listeners? They want to go over there and listen to Stevenage fans berate Rotherham, no doubt. Where can we get you?
Yeah, look, chaps, first of all, thank you so much for having me on. I was kind of saying to you off the pod, you probably picked the most positive Stevenage Football Club fan you could have probably picked. So I'll try and do my best to keep it realistic. But anyone that wants to find us, we're the Stevenage Football Club podcast. We've been doing the podcast since 2019, so pre-COVID, and then it's been crazy because actually our journey that the team and the club have had since we've done the podcast is unbelievable what we've seen over the last kind of 4 to 5 years. So, we've been doing that. You want to go and follow us? We're on YouTube, on Spotify, all the audibles. Go and give us a follow on X at TSFC Podcast. And, I think at the minute, if you were to go over and have a listen to one of our episodes, again, it would be the most positive podcast at the minute, considering we're in the playoff race. So, that's who we are. And, go and give us a follow.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Mark, we only started actually this year, so this is our first season, and it's probably Rotherham's worst season they've had for 20 years. So, complete opposite of you and Stevenage. But we'll get on to Stevenage and Matt a little bit later. First of all, for you people out there who are watching, first of all, thanks for joining us. I'll just quickly go through the first comments. Tom Brown, gutted can't be on. Hosting a charity event this evening. Have a great show. Must win tomorrow. Agree with some must win. Kelly Wilson, how is that? Who is back, lads? When Hugo Hall back, Gary Nombe, so on and so forth. We will go through some of the injured lads, Kaylee, because Lee Clark mentioned a couple of them on his pre-match today. So we'll go through them. Yeah, and again, when's it Williams back? Can James, Zach, Baptiste, Rafferty, Gore, Benson. So that's your team, is it, Kaylee, I assume? And she's got Rotherham 3-1. Yeah, excellent. Nombe 2 and Gray 1. Wow, she's proper all in. Douglas could be back on Tuesday. Okay. The Cardiff City fan. Hello, Cardiff City fan. Welcome. Strange to see Cardiff fans in here. Everyone loves Rotherham, though, don't they? Right. What we'll do before we go on to Stevenage, as I started saying earlier, Mr. Lee Bush this week has actually met Phil Smith from the football club. We've kept a little bit secret, but Lee's now I'm going to hand over to Lee. He's going to give an update on what was discussed and what Phil Smith said and some things that are happening going forward. So, Lee, take it away.
Yeah, so obviously I can't discuss too much because obviously some of what was said was sort of confidential, so I wouldn't be able to divulge that information. But what I would say is it was a really positive meeting I had with him. I mentioned about the podcast being blocked. He wasn't aware of it, but he will look into that as well. He's not really been offended by a lot of the stuff we've put out. And he's actually been getting banter from some of his mates as well. And there could be a potential charity boxing match coming up as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
Just unblocking, mate. I don't suppose, have you actually checked this last day or two to see if the title's been unblocked? Have you checked?
I haven't actually. I've been
Okay.
really busy this last couple of days, but he did assure me that he will have a look at it, and it's definitely not come from him. Obviously, with us leaking team news and whatnot, he said that's our prerogative. Obviously, if there is somebody leaking information, he can't really do anything about it. They put their things in place to try and stop it, but obviously we keep getting the information. So it was a positive interview with him, and I think, in all truthness, I think after that interview, I came away a lot happier, purely because I actually do think he has got the best interest at the club at heart. Yeah, he's made mistakes, but don't we all in business and in life? He's new to the sort of football side of things, so obviously there were certain things with Matt Hamshaw where they give him a little bit of extra time, rightly or wrongly. That's what they did. But I think realistically, we need to get behind the team now for these 8 cup finals and all try and pull together and unite as one, really. Which brings me on to obviously the charity game as well. So if you go to the right hand top corner, that will take you directly to the club page where you can purchase your tickets for the Legends. So we will be having some Legends on the show as well in the coming weeks. So look out for that. That's another thing the club have allowed to happen.
And not sure if you're aware, Matt, Alex Revel's included in that as well. I don't know if you were aware. He's actually included in it.
Go on, Revs. Legend of Rotherham.
We could be having him on as well. So it's all positive, and the club are putting things in places that I can't discuss. But what I will say is positive. We'll continue to be as we are. Obviously, Phil Smith will be possibly looking to come on the podcast as well as a fan. So he doesn't have to be as politically correct, because obviously the reason why he went on the other podcast and not ours was purely due to obviously the level of sort of explicit content that sometimes goes on here with language. So we are all trying to improve on that as well. So it's something that my mum tells me off for. So she doesn't like the swearing on the internet. So we are trying to curb that a little bit. But it is all positive. Like I said, he is there in a non-payment category. So I think we just have to trust him and see where it goes, really. I'm usually a good judge of character. I got a good vibe from him that he actually is passionate about Rotherham United and he wants to do good for the club. So that's my take on it, really. I did promise him I wouldn't divulge any more of the information, what he said. Otherwise, he just wouldn't discuss anything with us again, really. So that's the way it has to be. But I'll just urge Rotherham fans now, really, is I think we're all in agreement. We've got to get behind the team for these 8 games and really lift the roof off at New York Stadium. And like I said, this Legends game is big for the club, but most importantly for players that have had special memories in our lives as Rotherham United fans. Your Alan Lees and stuff like that that are coming back to play a game. I know the timing isn't great, but when they set up the game, obviously we didn't realise or expect to be having a season that we're having. So put everything aside, really, and just try and. I know it's difficult, but we've just got to try and back as football club. It's hard times at the minute, but as the Millerman song says, we will rise again. So that's what we've got to hope to do. Stick together. rather than all this sort of infighting that we seem to have amongst the fan base. All it does is not do any good. If we're all sticking together and a Rotherham United that's united, with a much better chance. And that is it from me.
Yeah, I just was quickly, Lee. So would you honestly say that you were wrong about your opinion of Phil Smith, and has it changed almost full circle from that conversation? Or have you still got doubts?
No, I mean, I'll always have doubts about anybody that's running a football club. You can only go on people's words and then their actions. So actions speak louder than words for me. So he said all the right words, and he came across as quite a genuine person, a Rotherham United fan who knew his stuff about Rotherham as well. So I do believe he is a fan, and I do believe he's got the best interest of the club at heart. Still doesn't mean it's gonna work. We'll have to wait and see, and we'll continue to, judge the stuff that's done. We've seen today there's a new sort of outside club shop, mobile club shop as well, which has been pictured online and stuff. So there is positive things happening. There is other stuff that's positive that I can't discuss. But if they do happen, fans will be really happy. That's all I can say. You will be happy, and you can see that the guy is here to do something. And he doesn't have to be here. He doesn't have to.
Yeah, he's not getting paid for wages here.
And end of the day, he's got family that are wanting inheritance, and he's spending some of that inheritance at our football club with sponsorship and all of the stuff. So I think we've just got to. I don't think we should really just be looking to drive people like that away. We have been critical, but like I said to him, he understands why we was critical. He couldn't argue with what I was saying, because the actual what he said on interviews and then how it transpired, obviously you can't say those sort of things in the media and then deliver what we delivered. So you're always going to be challenged on your rhetoric of your words that you come out with.
Yeah, definitely. Right, so let's move on then. So for anyone who may be not aware, we have a huge game tomorrow. Rotherham United versus Stevenage Borough at the New York Stadium. And as you can see, we have Matt, who is our resident Stevenage fan. Now, Matt, I have actually looked, as I said before, we were in the lobby before the podcast started. I have looked at a few stats. So obviously you were in the playoffs and didn't play last week and therefore dropped out of it. You're in 7th. Only 1 point behind Reading, though, so all to play for. Don't score a lot of goals, 41 goals, which is literally the 5th worst in the division. There's only, and Rotherham are one of these teams, there was only, I think, 3 teams or 4 teams below, and they are all in the bottom kind of 6, I think, as when I looked at it, which is very strange for a team who are, going for promotion to score not a lot. However, your goals against is the second best. So there's only one team who are better. I'll let you see if you can get that when you was your update. 38 goals conceded, second best, which is excellent. Last 5 games, inconsistent, 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw. So you seem to lose, and you think that's it. Playoff journey's over, and then you'll get a win and you're back on. That's what it feels like from the outside. And lastly, top goal scorer Jamie Reid, who, as far as I'm aware, is a big target man. I think he's scored a lot of penalties. Again, I'll let you correct me if I'm wrong. But Matt, so thoughts on all those stats, thoughts on what you expect tomorrow, and also just give us a bit of an insight into how Stevenage play.
Yeah, look, it's no, you pretty much bang on with some of those stats. Recently, Big Goal Reedy is his nickname. He's got 13 this season. So yeah, he has had a lot of penalties. He's had some brilliant goals as well from open play. Do you know what? It's been an unbelievable season for us. It was really strange, right? Coming into the summer, it was a case of, after our, incredible promotion a few years ago with the big man, Steve Evans, of course. We came into League One and, we were just kind of going into League One and upgrading the squad and having, these really solid seasons. And we had 2 seasons. Steve left. Obviously, Revs came in as manager, consolidated last year. And I think coming into this season, it was, it's our 3rd season in League One. What do we want to become? Do we want to, be a team that are in the bottom half every season, a bit like Exeter kind of have seemed to be the last couple of years, and you're kind of fighting to stay up? Or, do we want to become a top half League One team? Become a Wickham that, season on season are consistently in the top half, competing one way or another. And that's what we wanted to become. So in the summer, we set out the plan and the goal of the new era to become a top half League One team. And we did that in the summer. We recruited some real top players in this division. When we look at players like Jordan Houghton and Chem Campbell, and talents like Philip Marshall, who's a championship level goalkeeper, and Jasper Pattenden, who, Bez Labado, who just played in the playoffs for Wickham, and players that we kept, really felt like we had created a top half League One team. Had a brilliant preparation, all went off to Spain. It was brilliant. And then obviously the big opening day at Blackpool, won 3-2, won the opening 4, 8 wins in 10, top of the league. I think I lost count all the way up to November. And I think on the 25th of November, we were sitting top, actually, going into December. So it's been an unbelievable season. And, we hit that period, I think, where teams started to suss us out a little bit around December, January time, and it just took us 2 months to change the system and get the right personnel up with Jamie Reid. And I think we only had about 3 wins in 19, but Alex Ravel, he got us back winning games again, and he changed the system. He got the right personnel up with Jamie Reid, and again we've started winning games, and we've got ourselves into a position where we're in the playoff race, which is incredible. And I'm extremely proud to be there, because I think if someone would have said to us, back in the preparation period and Spain in pre-season, that with 8 cup finals to go, we'd be in the playoff race, I'd have been so happy. So yeah, look, it's been an unbelievable season. And yeah, look, I think at the minute, it's all about, for us, getting the system right, getting the personnel right within that system. And we know that, we've seen this season that we belong up there. We've got the squad for it. The statistics don't lie. We've been in the top 6 for 6.5 months and have one of the best defensive records. And, I really believe that we've got a great chance of doing it. And, look, really big game against yourselves tomorrow. We've got 2 games over yourselves and Blackpool. And they're unbelievable opportunities for us to, get wins in and go into the playoffs with just like 6 games to play, because all the other teams around us are all playing each other. So, it's a great period for us. But no, you're not wrong with those statistics. The way that we play, it's been a bit of a mix this season. We do play really good football at times, and then we have been known to be direct as well. At the start of the season, for the opening 4 months, where we were just unbelievable, 8 wins in 10 and top of the league. We were playing in a kind of 4-2-3-1 formation, playing really good, expansive, quick football, moving the ball from one side to the other, getting into kind of crossing opportunities and playing some really class football. And then kind of since then, when teams started to suss us out a bit and we needed to change the system, we kind of changed the style a little bit, became a little bit more direct in games to kind of give us a different look. So we can play different ways. We've adopted a 3-5-2 over the past couple of months. We've seen a 4-3-3. We've seen the 4-2-3-1 again. So there's different ways that we can play, different systems that we could deploy. So it's going to be quite unpredictable when we come to the New York Stadium tomorrow. But that's us in a nutshell. And I'm really excited for these, 8 cup finals. For us to be involved is absolutely incredible.
And you half answered this actually from what you were saying, but I actually wanted to know, obviously we had to mention the big guy because he's still a legend at Rotherham, even though he obviously left Stevenage to join Rotherham and it didn't work out as well as we wanted. But I was just wondering, how much is this success based on the work that Steve Evans did?
Yeah, look, Steve, he joined us when we were in a really, really bad time at the time. And, it looked like we were going to go down to League Two and Steve come in. I know we were linked with him when he was at Gillingham a lot earlier, actually, in November before, but we went for Paul Tisdale and, it didn't work out. But, You know, we still love the Tiz, because if it wasn't for the Tiz, I say if it wasn't for the Tiz, we would never be where we are now, because Paul Tisdale was so bad, we ended up getting Steve.
All right, okay. Yeah. Reverse psychology, yeah.
A bit of a running joke with us in the fan base. But look, Steve come, he kept us up this season, built that incredible promotion side 3 years ago. And, you know, we did some incredible things. And look, there's players in this current team that were Steve Evans signings, but this season has been fully down to Alex Revell. You know, this is Rev's team. He created this top half League One side in the summer. This is his team, his signings, his identity of football and system. So, I think, look, you could argue and say that success for a couple of seasons was definitely Steve. But this season, Alex Revell is the sole person that's put together this top half League One side. So, look, and by the way, Revs has done an unbelievable job. You know, it's his second season consecutively with us in League One, and you know he's getting better and better as a manager. And I think Revs has really achieved some big things this season that he hadn't achieved prior to this season. You know, kind of think Revs has always, well, since he's been back in the job, he hasn't been able to get a team out of bad form, let's say. And he's proved that this season. He's proved, you know, the top managers, they can take a team out of bad form and get them winning again. And Alex Revell's done that this season, and he's turning into a really fabulous young manager. And look, if he gets us into those playoff places, my God, there's going to be some bigger clubs come sniffing for Revs, because he's still a younger manager and he's improving season by season. So, look, you could say the first couple of years, you know, Steve Evans signed a lot of these legends. But this team, this season, this is Alex Revell's side.
Interesting. Okay. I'm going to come to you in a minute, P, to talk about your thoughts on what Matt said. But let me just go through some comments. I don't want to, you know, get behind other comments. So the righteous one, we've just done that. The righteous one, Bushy has already been through that. Hopefully you heard. Lee gives a wave. I think he wants to wave it. Yeah. Cardiff City fan. I hope not to stay up, but it seems nearly impossible now. And it does seem unlikely. We just don't know how the team are going to react with the new manager. And that's our only hope, really, that the team react positively. The real Phil Smith, evening, everyone. Afghan holiday, evening, Phil. Afghan holiday to you as well. Kaylee, when is Smith coming on, Lee? Once we've got a date, we will tell you. The real Phil Smith, great meeting you had, Lee. Well done. Yeah, well done, Lee. Kelly Forbos, wow. What a change we see in you, Lee, regards PS. Amazing when you actually meet someone, what a difference it makes, rather than thinking you know someone's character before meeting them. And just before Lee says anything about this, this to me kind of proves what Lee's all about as well. Obviously, Lee gets a lot of stick, and everyone always seems to think that he's negative and he posts this and posts that. I think that's why I asked Lee about the fact had he changed his opinion, because a lot of people don't think he ever does, and he just likes to moan for the sake of it, but he doesn't, and that's proven it. So I don't know if you've got a response to that, Bushy, but he's. I think
when you do actually speak to a person, you've got your opportunity to ask them the questions and listening to their rationale behind the reasons what they've done. So I only can go off snippets of interviews he's done in the media, and the questioning that I feel is weak, and he kind of agreed with me on that as well. So some of the Radio Sheffield questioning is quite poor. So when you speak to them in person, you get a feel for somebody. You listen to what they've got to say, and he did. And all due respect to him, he didn't have to take the call.
No, that's true.
The previous regime at the football club probably wouldn't have took the call. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So it is a massive thing, because they don't normally let outside people into the football club on that level, and they have. So for me, I see that as a progression.
Positive, yeah.
Now, people want to think that that's some kind of negative. That's up to them. But I can only go on the meeting I had, and it was positive. And I don't come on here just for, despite what people say, it's not all for clicks and likes and rage bait or whatever you want to call it. It is actually to try and get the facts out of the football club for you guys. We only do it for the fans. That's it. That's purely it. There's no hidden agenda. We love Rotherham United, unfortunately, at times, but we do.
Yeah. Russ, evening, boys. Evening, Russ. Hope you're well, mate. Sean, score predictions 1-1. Hope I'm wrong and we win. I like Lee Clark's passion already. Hopefully, he will be with us next season. Lee has spent all season leaking club secrets. Now he won't tell us how. Think it's sarcasm, though.
Yeah. Can I respond to that? So the difference is the people, players, staff, whoever's leaking me the information are wanting that information to be leaked out. I've had a conversation with another man who's told me, do not put this out there, otherwise I won't speak to you again regarding it. So there's a big difference. It's called integrity. I've got integrity. If somebody tells me something and they say, don't tell anybody else, then that's what I won't do. But if somebody's giving me information to leak out, to tell the fans, then I'm going to do that because they've asked me to do it. So it's all about integrity, really. The conversation with Billy asked me not to share it, the finer details of what I've said, and I haven't done it because I'm true to my word, and I'll always be true to my word.
Yeah. Lee has only talked about what he has seen from Phil. This won't change, Lee. It just means that the podcast can give the fans more. I think it's fantastic, positive for the podcast. Well done, Lee. Yeah, and cheers for that, Phil. Really appreciate that. Evening, lads. Evening, Rotherham Gaming. Russ. Well spoken, that Matt. So a bit of praise for Matt there. A fair play, Stevenage, on what and where you are about. Wish you all the best. Other than tomorrow, mate. And Kaylee. Are you doing the lineup for tomorrow in Team News? And can you check when Hugo or Douglas are back? Can you check him back for tomorrow? Lee, what your lineup for tomorrow? Matt gives us a wave. There's a bit of it missed, whatever, a wave there. We will go through our what if the team will be later, Kayla. So sorry, P, you've not had a chance to speak yet. My apologies. So going back to what Matt said. So the two things I kind of want to ask you is one. Thoughts on tomorrow, having heard what Matt said about the way Stevenage play and the form they're in, etc. And the other thing I want to ask you is, I'm sure, if I'm wrong, I apologise. I'm sure when Rotherham fans were kind of promoting Revel to be Rotherham's next manager, you didn't want him, did you?
No.
Right. So what Matt's just said, has that changed your opinion?
Yeah and no. Obviously, I wanted to move away from ex-players, ex-people who've been to club, if you know what I'm saying. I want to get away from that. I bet, honestly, he's doing a right good job, Revel. Obviously, I think they're 7th in league, 1 point off playoffs. They're only 6 points off Bolton in 3rd. So that just proves what a job he's doing, mate. But I just want to get away from ex-players coming back as a coach and stuff. As for his Stevenage's team, obviously, I've seen quite a few games. Obviously, I like Jamie Reid. I think he's a workhorse. For me, it just reminds me of a Rotherham player. Gets stuck in, runs about. You know what I mean? Then I think Harry Cornick you signed with that in January.
Yeah, we signed him and then he dislocated his ankle a couple of months ago. So, yeah, we won't see him again.
Who's that, sorry?
Also, Harry Cornick.
Oh, I didn't even realise you'd signed him, fair enough.
Yeah, when they signed, I thought, wow, we gone for him. Yeah. Good player for this level. And he's gone to Stevenage. Then, also, they've got some decent defenders, haven't they? Like Charlie Good. Is it Pellegrini? Is it Pellegrini? Big Pellegrini at back.
Yeah. That Charlie Good is someone I wanted at Rotherham, to be fair, yeah. So
they've got a decent solidness about them, Stevenage. But I still expect us to win tomorrow. Sorry, Matt. Obviously, New Balance and that. Hopefully, we smash them 3-0 and we kick on from there. Sorry, pal.
Yeah, because it is a strange one, Matt, because you know we're on this podcast and we're obviously having a discussion about the game tomorrow, and you're probably thinking, who are these lunatics saying that Rotherham are going to win the game when Rotherham are one of the worst teams in the league? The form is terrible. You know, where they're getting the positivity from. And it is all down to the fact that we've got a new manager who he came in before the Lincoln game, but you can't really, he'd had, I think, an hour with the players before, so you can't really put that on him. And this is the first game, if you like, of his season. But he's had 2 weeks or almost 2 weeks to kind of get his style, his imprint on the team. And we, in all reality, we actually don't know what's going to happen. We could go out tomorrow and win 10-0. We don't know. And so my question to you is, if you were playing a Rotherham side 2 or 3 weeks ago, you'd have come here, you'd have won the game, you'd have gone home 1-0, 2-0, pretty straightforward. But now it is in the balance. And does that concern you at all, or are you still quite confident that you'll rock up and easily get the win?
No, obviously, look, everyone's heard of that kind of old saying of new manager bounce back, haven't they? Whoever gets a new manager, you see upturn results. Of course, look, I'm really confident in the boys. The boys know what they need to do tomorrow. And they've, from some of the media team and the insight we're getting there, they're prepared fully and they're really excited for tomorrow. So I really, really believe the boys will go and get the win tomorrow. They know what they need to do. They've got players in the squad that have experienced promotion from this division, and players that have experienced competing to get promotion. There's a lot of players in this squad that know how to get over the line and get in the playoffs and compete there, because some of these players, it's what they've done in their careers for the last kind of 5-6 years. So look, the lads will know what they need to do tomorrow. But look, every game in League One's tough. Bolton lost to Port Vale last week. Port Vale at the bottom of the division. So look, it's no easy game in this league. Alex Revell says it all the time. Points are very difficult to come by in this division. So look, it will still be a really tough game. I'm assuming that you'll have a big crowd, new manager, Lee Clark. No, look, it will be a really, really tough game tomorrow. I really believe in my lot, and I believe they'll go and get the job done. But yeah, look, be a tough game. These games are in this league. It doesn't matter where you are in the division. So look, we're going to have to play really well to get a result.
I've got one more question, then I'll let you go because I know you've only got another 10 minutes or so. So now the last question is, and you kind of touched on it with regards to the manager. Now, Rotherham United haven't got a permanent manager at the club. They've not got one. Lee Clark has come in. He's only got a contract to end the season. Could he be there after this season if they went down? Yeah, potentially. But there's still no clarity on whether he will be. So does it worry you that? And obviously, even if Rotherham are in League Two, I genuinely believe that Alex Revell would drop to League Two to manage Rotherham. Now, the reason I think that is because, Steve Evans actually did it when Rotherham were in League Two and Crawley were in League One, okay? Or they were getting promoted to League One, so I don't think they were in League One. They were getting promoted to League One. And I also think that when we've been in League Two before under this chairman, we've generally had quite a decent budget for that level. So it's almost like he's coming to Rotherham, nothing to lose. He can get the squad not up to League One, but I think he can get them up to the Championship where they've been recently. Does that concern you, or are you? I know it concerns that Revell could go, but does it concern you he could go as early as in the summer, or are you quite confident he'll just do with you this time next season?
Yeah, we're extremely confident. We know Revs will be here for the next few years. I think it would be a surprise if he wasn't. And the thing with Alex Revell, he's a club legend at our club. I mean, Revs played for us. He ended his career with us. He was in the academy with us. He was manager going into COVID with us. He's been a coach. He's come back under Steve. He's back as manager. Like Revs loves the football club, and he always says his family have grown up supporting Stevenage. His kids are massive Stevenage football fans. We sit near him in the North Stand. It's a real Revs has kind of become a club legend at our club. And I think Alex, we've had him on the podcast loads of times, and it's always a case of he wants to build a managerial career here. And I think what's going to happen with Alex Revell is he wants to build this project of becoming a top half League One team. He wants to be there. I think what will happen to Revs eventually is he'll end up getting picked up by a Championship club in a couple of years. I think the way that Revs is going in his trajectory, he'll get picked up by a Watford or a club like that in the Championship. And to be honest with you, we've heard this season that he is being watched by a few Championship clubs for a future appointment. So I think Alex Revell, I honestly think Alex Revell is going to become a fantastic manager. I mean, what he's done this season, putting this, creating this top League One squad, the way that we've played, the achievements we've done this season with what we've seen, it's been absolutely magnificent. And I think Revs Although he's got amazing memories at Rotherham, and obviously he's a club legend too. I think Revs will look to kind of go up the leagues eventually. And look, we're very accepting of that. In a couple of years that he'll probably move on and go to a bigger club and go into the Championship. But I think Alex's trajectory as manager, the way of how much he's improved in such a short period of time. If we make the playoffs this season, which is likely, look, there's other teams knocking. Plymouth are having a brilliant season. They could potentially come in. If we make the playoffs, I think there'll be a whole host of bottom Championship clubs, top League One clubs, maybe that have just come down from the Championship, looking at a manager like Alex Revell to go and do a really, really solid job there. So, yeah, look, I'm confident that we'll have Revs. It'll definitely be here next season. I mean, we it's really funny actually. We were speaking to Revs. He's already been out to Spain to have a look at our pre-season camp for next season.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Like we know Revs is here next year. We know what he wants to achieve over these next couple of years. But look, I think Revs is going to probably go and eventually be a Championship level manager in 2 years' time.
Right. Matt, well, thanks for joining us. I'll let you go now because I know you've got your own podcast to record or do live. So I'll let you go. Really appreciate you joining us. And as one of the comments said, good luck for the rest of the season, just not tomorrow. So, yeah. Cheers, Matt.
No, look, chaps, best of luck for the rest of the season. I really hope you get over that dotted line. Rotherham's a fantastic football club and, you should certainly be in this division next season. And look, if it doesn't happen, sure you'll be back one day. You've got fantastic people that support the club. And, I really wish you the best for the rest of the season and the future, lads.
Cheers, Matt. See you.
Cheers, Matt.
Right. Lee, so let's get back on to the Stevenage game then. So I spoke to Pete about his thoughts. So what are your thoughts about tomorrow's game? Are you confident? We obviously don't know what to expect, as I kind of already touched on. So, yeah, what are your general thoughts about tomorrow, especially after hearing what a Stevenage fan has said?
Yeah, I'm confident. I'm going for a 3-1 victory. I think we'll win. I've upset all the Doncaster fans on my predictions this week, so they're getting all a bit upset. Turned them out of the caravans for a night or two, Anna. They're all getting a bit like Larry, but they're from Doncaster. You've got to feel sorry for them, I guess. It's not their fault, is it? Really? But anyway, on to the game. I think we win 3-1. Like I said, and I said it to everybody this season, we have got the players. I don't fear Stevenage at all. Yeah, Reed, would I swap him for Nombe? No. Would I swap him for Gray? No. I would. You just wouldn't. Yeah. So, with all due respect to these players, is reeling off. I've never heard of any of them. I'm being honest. Like, they're all right. They're average League One players. They're nothing special. Yeah. You were talking about, I don't know, players that have been and done it at this level. We've got that. Yeah. We've had players that have been promoted. Nearly half the squad have. Half of our squad have never been relegated. And they could be getting relegated. And some of them players need to look in the mirror as well. Because they have lost, some of them, 5 managers. 4 or 5 managers they've gone through while they've been at the club. Yeah? When does it stop being the manager's fault? When do we look deeper than just the manager every single time? Because those players, and Rafferty, I heard his interview today, and he's saying everybody needs to take
responsibility.
But actually, you're the captain, mate. You need to take more of a responsibility. You've saying you've never been relegated. Well, you're going to get relegated if you don't wake up. So this weekend, I expect you wakey, 3-1, get them smashed, and then get Port Vale smashed. And then we're talking. Then we can talk about staying up. Because this football club should not be the bot. I don't care what any Doncaster, we've got Molyneux. Mate, he ain't fit to lace Dango's boots. Let's be real. Let's be real about it. Dango's back this weekend. We got Gray back this weekend. So for me, I'm playing a front three. I want a front three of Gray, Biancheri, and Nombe. Go for it. That will absolutely frighten the life out of teams. A top 3 of that. I'm telling you now, there ain't a better front 3 than that in the whole of the league. The issue with Biancheri is he's young. be ready for a relegation battle. You don't know, but you don't know till you start throwing him in. He scored goals midweek for Wales. Throw him in. We need goals. We need a different focus on. We need to get at Stevenage. They're not Real Madrid. They're not even Cardiff. They're not even Lincoln. Yeah, they're Stevenage. They're just an average, run-of-the-mill League One team that we should put to bed. I'm not being disrespectful when I say it. I'm just being honest. Yeah. So don't get upset in the comments because that's what people start putting the dummies out. But honestly, we've got the tools to do the job tomorrow. 3-1. The fans, get behind the team. You can be the 12th man tomorrow and let's get this win. Let's get these 2 wins over this period and then we can reassess it. Keep reassessing it game after game because everybody thinks it's doom and gloom, but this isn't impossible. We did it before with Neil Warnock. Lee Clark could be the man to do it again. They did it at Kilmarnock together, both of them. They both did it. They both saved Kilmarnock from relegation. His assistant manager and Lee Clark together did it. So they're in a similar position to what Rotherham was, facing relegation. They went in, did a firefighting job, kept them up. That's what they're going to do with Rotherham. We're staying up, boys.
Okay. P. So Lee, as always, is always confident, always passionate. How do you react to what Lee said? Do you agree? And I want to ask you about, I know that you are obsessed with the 4 at the back formation. I want you to tell me what you think Lee Clark will do in terms of the formation.
I agree with Lee with that 3 at top. He's got to play that for me. Something fresh, something different. Get at him. They won't know what's hit them with them 3 up against him, will they? They won't have played against a 3 like that all season. So if he plays that, fair play. But regarding to the 3-4 at back, it's going to be a 4, Bez. I'm sorry. I can't go with a 3 at back. It's too open.
Even though at Lincoln he played a 4-back and he conceded 3 goals, and then he changed to 3-back and conceded 0.
But we played 3 all season with 3rd bottom, so
I'm with Pete. I want a 4-3-3.
But do you think? Do you think he will? Like, I get what you want, but what do you think he'll do? I know it's hard. It's just, you think
I think he'll go attacking. Listen, I know what you're saying, Bez. We didn't concede at Lincoln. We didn't fucking score either. The game's about scoring goals. Yeah. So that 3 at the back provides us with no attacking threat because we've got wing backs that aren't wing backs that can't play that position. So the position, the whole formation is wrecked unless you've got a Denzel Hall fit and somebody else that can get up and down. Rafferty and James can't do it. So bin that in the bin because it's not going to work. Yeah, 4-3-3. Go at them and just say to them, lads, I don't care if we concede 3 as long as we score 4. Yeah, we're going to beat them. We're going to beat them today, and that's it.
What? Just before we move on, Pete, score prediction for yourself.
3-0 Rotherham.
Goal scorers.
Come on, Pete, get in there.
I'm going Nombe hat-trick.
Wow.
Ooh.
Lee, your goal scorers, you got 3 as well.
I've got 3, and it's going to be all 3 separate, and it's going to be the front 3. Nombe, Gray, Bianchera. 3-0, 3-1.
I mean, what I would say is, like, we do these podcasts, and if someone went back and watched all of the podcasts that I've got a game to be previewed, I reckon Lee and Pete have had Rotherham winning every single week, right? And they'd lose every week. Now, to be fair, even I am going to go with Rotherham win this week. I think they will win. Yeah, so I'm going to 2-1. Right, comments. The righteous one, only joking, but you're well done for being man enough to meet him. Yeah, fair play. Kayla, Lee said Hall will be back for Tuesday. No, he didn't. So he's not Lee Clark in. So Clark, he did say Hall was training, but he won't be back, I don't think, for another week or 2 at least. Hugo, he's training as well, but only light training. So he's probably a few weeks away as well, I'm afraid. Ian Desley, I agree with Pete about learning from past mistakes and not signing past players or managers. The new manager. That's not a criticism. with the people, but recently hasn't worked for us. Yeah, and that's what you were saying, isn't it, Pete?
Yeah.
I agree with Pete. I think Rotherham fans have an obsession. So, do you know who I think will get the job? I think it'll be
Don't say
David
it.
Alfell.
I thought you were going to say Richard
Oh,
Wood.
yeah.
I think David Alfell will get the job.
Yeah, I thought the rumor was he didn't want it though.
I don't know, but if he didn't, if he does want it, it'll be his. I tell you. But I won't. I don't want him. I want us to get away from this obsession with ex-players or coaches or whatever. Let's just get the best man for the job. Do an interview them. Whoever's best at that interview, they get the job. That's how every job should work. Yeah, shouldn't be a case of always played for this. He's done this. He knows our DNA. To this day, I don't know what the Rotherham DNA is. People keep telling me.
I know that does wind me up as well. To be fair, yeah. Like the writers, well, this feels like a Stevenage podcast. Yeah, well, it is. To be fair, Matt did speak quite a lot. To be fair, but I think it's good to get an overview of the opposition, to be honest. Obviously, he's gone now anyway, so for the rest of the show and for the last half an hour, it's going to be all about Rotherham. Right, all I'm going to come on to now quickly is just the Lee Clark interview. I've actually listened to it. Like I went for a period where I didn't listen to Matt Ramshaw's interviews because I found it really difficult to listen to. And I'm not saying that. I honestly did find it difficult. And obviously, we're talking a lot of points that Matt Ramshaw were making. I just never agreed with. So, Pete, now, I listened to Lee Clark's interview. And what I found from it was, I found it was a very simple and basic interview. Now, what I mean by that is the person who would ask the questions would ask a normal question, and rather than try and come up with a clever answer, he'd just answer it simply. That's what I found. Honestly, I found it very simple. So, have you listened to it yourself, Pete?
I am, Bez. I've been in Peak District all day, so I've not really had a chance to. So I do apologise for that.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah. Have you listened to it, Lee? Or not?
I listened to it.
So, what are your thoughts? Because what are your thoughts on what he's been saying? Or is it no different from any other manager?
No, I was quite impressed with him. He seemed positive. He seemed like he said that he's got them fired up and he thinks they're going to be ready. So I think it was simple, but why doesn't it need to be simple? Why do we have to make everything complicated? I think sometimes we overcomplicate what football is, to be honest with you. End of the day, it's about scoring more than the opposition. Sometimes you don't need to complicate it anymore. You know what I mean? We need to go out and score more than Stevenage at the weekend and win the game. Yeah, on Friday. Yeah, that's it. Well, why feed them with? Some of the players are not intelligent enough to feed them with overloads of information. Tell them the basic jobs. You need to understand, and that's what Neil Warnock did. So you listen to a Neil Warnock interview, very similar to Lee Clark. He gives very little away. It kind of, he don't go into great detail on tactics. He kind of just says, you just need to get the players doing the jobs right and understanding the roles. It's quite basic. Yeah. I think the problem with a lot of these young coaches, they go on all these bloody coaching badges and they're full of all these ideas, but it don't conspire on a football pitch, because when the football game kicks off, things tend to change, and then they're looking from a handbook that they've got no idea what really means, rather than use a bit of common sense, boys, and you might improve. Do you know what I mean? I think it is about just basically getting them to put 100% effort in, know the jobs, and know that they can't come off that pitch without giving 100%. And then if it ain't good enough, then people won't moan as much as what they do when they've been coming off recently and there's no effort, no style of play, nothing. But if you do the basics, they'll have a style of play and they'll be fired up, wanting to win. And if they don't, because the other team is better than them on the day, then you have to hold your hands up and say we lost to the better team. However, how often have we said that we lost to the better team this season? Not very many, because we've been absolutely dire. They've been as bad and nicked to win. That is so simple. We could easily be in the top. And then this is where, you know, the Doncaster fans, they don't understand the game. I don't know whether it's because they don't eat proper food and they haven't got the intelligence, or their brains have not fully formed, or it's because they're living in caravans and eating soup out of the bins or the local takeaways or something. But they just haven't got the intelligence to understand football. Yeah. On paper, we've got a good enough squad to compete at this level. Yeah. Without being anywhere near the relegation zone. Yeah. We just need to do the basics and win.
Agreed. And just a reminder before I carry on, because I don't know if people who are watching the podcast now but weren't earlier, that link there, which is in the chat, if you click on that link, it will take you to a website where you can purchase the tickets for the Rotherham United game of the century at the end of this season. So make sure you do.
Club's official website. If you actually get the camera up on your phone, even simpler, just put it to that little code there, and then on there, click it, and then basically it will take you straight to the club shop. No problem.
Yeah. Just wanted to highlight that again. Right, Kelly Forwards, I said it before, system makes no difference, chaps. It's about effort, energy, and the lads willing to run and give a toss. And to be fair, that's what I've been saying. And this is why I actually don't think it makes that much of a difference if you do play a 3 at the back or a 4 at the back. It's more to do with the players who are playing. Are they willing to run? Are they willing to work hard? Are they willing to, chase back when they've lost possession and get the ball back? It's more to do with the grit and determination. And Pete, I know you're a big fan of the 4 at the back. I get it, but surely you must agree with what Kelly's saying there in terms of the formation doesn't make that much difference. Like, it's not as if it's Guardiola, is it?
Yeah and no, Bez, because obviously we've got Rafty playing right wing back. He can't get up and down. He's no Denzel Hall, is he? So that space he runs up, and there's nobody else filling in there, is there? That leaves gaps for their wingers just to attack us both. So we've seen it all season. Just need a solid back 4. That's all I'm saying. Right. It's just
basics. Pete is right. It is basics. When they go forward, we leave it in behind, and every team have got downers by the sides.
Yeah, which is right. Okay,
the goals have come from that.
That I would say, and you're right, I'm not saying you're wrong, but what I would say is if the players had had the shape drilled into him, they would have one of those 3 centre midfielders or one of the centre backs covering. When you're a fullback, you're right, you're on your own as a wing back, I get it. You've still got 3 centre halves, and the way it should work is if the opposition attack down our right hand side, the 3 centre halves all shift at right. So it ends up a fullback anyway, because your left wing back pulls back, your 3 centre halves move across, and you've got your right back there. So this is what I'm trying to say. I get what you're saying, but to me, it's more to do with the shape and players understanding where they need to be. I remember listening to a podcast, and it was Matt Kilgallen, and he was talking about Paolo Di Canio, and he said that for most of the training sessions, they'd work on shape, and Di Canio would run around pitch with the ball and shout, the ball is here. Where do you stand? And they'd all move back and they'd all move into position. And he'd do that for hours. And that's what I think Rotherham have been missing. I'm not saying they should do that, by the way, because that's overkill what Di Canio did.
But was Paolo Di Canio ever won as a manager?
He won promotion with Swindon.
Well, that's it.
He won promotion with Swindon and then got promotion with Swindon. Then he got Swindon to playoffs of League One before he left. And then he kept Sunderland up in Premier League when they were going down.
And then got sacked.
He did, but still, 3 positive things for him.
Yeah, but
the players who have played under Di Canio on the podcast have said that's the fittest they've ever been. Not just one player said it, 5 or 6 have said it.
Well,
just a fact.
You can have all the shape you want. If your players are not motivated and they haven't got the heart for the battle and they're not fully motivated to play, it doesn't matter what formation you play.
No, I know. That's what I said from the start. I know, yeah, right.
Warnock's the same. If he puts arms around players, and I think that's what Lee Clark's got to have done. He's got to give some confidence into them. Because I think I'm sure, were the main problem because he didn't install any confidence into them players.
I agree. Right, Declan Dale, 2-1 to Rotherham tomorrow. Yeah, Declan, I agree. That's what I've gone for as well. Neil, Brinton simply has that. Rotherham United most of the season. It's been totally unacceptable. That's what a team in the bottom four. Yeah, can't disagree with that. Russ, just a gut attitude needed in all our cup finals left. Yeah, Russ, completely agree. Kaylee, are you doing your lineups? Yes, we will. So we'll start with P. So P, I want you to give me what you want the team to be. So obviously a 4 at back, 4-3-3. Let's go. Right back, goalkeeper first, because that's the important question.
I got one. Where's it? Cam? That's it, innit? I think Dawson's injured, isn't he?
Oh, is it?
I'm sure I read it.
Yeah,
Am I wrong?
Dawson's out. He's got nothing on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Right.
Cam.
So Canning goal. Yeah. Right back,
Rafferty.
left back,
James is fit.
two centre halves.
Jules and Baptiste.
Interesting. 2 left footers. Go on, who's your 3 centre midfielders?
As was fit. Gore. I think it's going to be Kelly in it. And who else have we got?
Benson, McWilliams, Powell.
It might be Benson, mate. Powell's out and he's done now, I think.
Yeah.
I think he's done as well, isn't he? Yeah, so Kelly,
You
Benson
say that
and...
Kelly, by the way. I actually think Kelly's done okay last 2 or 3 games, actually. Yeah.
Old Ed, isn't he?
Yeah.
Then up top, like Lee said, Biancheri, Nombi and Gray.
Okay. Lee, your team, quickly.
I would have...
I already know your front 3.
Yeah, Can in goal because there's nobody else.
Yeah.
I'd probably pick the same team Pete's just picked, to be honest with you. There won't be much change.
No change? Fair enough. Okay. Adam, Bush has been humbled about Di Canio.
How have I been humbled by Di Canio? He's managed 2 fucking clubs and won nothing. Won a promotion's not winning anything. He's won nothing. Absolutely nothing. If he were that good, who's he managing now? Nobody. End of chat.
Kelly Falls, you're contradicting yourselves, chat. If Raf goes forward and can't get back, he ain't running enough, is he?
No, he's not a wing back.
Yeah, I think that's the point. The lads are trying to say that he's not a fullback and he can't do that. I think that's what the point of what they're trying to say.
Too old now to do that. You can't expect a player at that age to get up and down as a wing back. You just can't do it.
The fact he's never played there in his whole career would suggest why he can't play there. And I guess that's one of the issues that I'm sure had. Square pegs in round holes and all that, which is not helped. So he's not helped himself, has he? Right, we've done pretty much an hour, so I'm going to finish up. There's not a lot happening, not a lot of comments or anything coming through. Views aren't as strong as normal. I don't know why that is, Lee, but we'll have to look into that. So obviously tomorrow it's Rotherham against Stevenage. I assume, Lee, you'll be doing a after-match reaction tomorrow?
Yeah, straight after the game, live fan call-in. So if you've been to the game, you can dial in and have your say. Hopefully we're discussing a victory. If we lose, I might just stack it off.
Really?
I don't think I can lose tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, what I would say is one of them instances where, this is why I've tried not to be too positive myself, but we've finally got some positivity. We're all sat here thinking, right, what's Clark going to do? It's got to be better than what it is. You can see us losing 3-0, can't you? And it's just no change at all. And that would be deflating. You're so, Pete?
We can't lose tomorrow. It's a must-win game. We'll lose.
We are down, aren't we?
Yeah. It's done.
There'll be an after-match reaction hopefully tomorrow after Rotherham have won the game. There'll be Miller's Monday. I don't know if there will be Miller's Monday, will there? With it being bank holiday. I don't know, Lee. What do you think? We've got a game Tuesday, don't forget.
There will be Miller's Monday, because obviously we've got the game on
Tuesday, So we will preview the Tuesday game on Monday. A few more comments. Kevin, who said Kelly's a grafter. Matt H didn't like him. Thoughts on that, Pete?
Might be true. Well, he wasn't too bad under Evans, was he? So I don't know. Till he got injured, he wasn't bad, was he? So
Kelly's a decent player. He's just his legs have gone, unfortunately. If you can get a good 45, 50 minutes out of him, you'll see.
Well, to be fair, like you said, Lee, there's a reason why Kelly was, a penalty kick away from playing Premier League with Coventry about 3 years ago. Yeah. So, yeah. Kaylee, team news. I think we've been through that, to be fair. Adam, 442 tomorrow, green number up top. Can't wait to dial in tomorrow.
Oh, okay? No.
Yeah, get in. Make sure you got your pants on, though.
Russ, we'll turn up to a 3-1. Yeah, go on, Russ. That's what some lads have said. Kelly Forwell's not sure Gray will start. Yeah, whether he's fit or not, I don't know. But what I would say, Kelly, is that we are at the stage now where you would risk your best players because we're desperate. So if he's 90% fit, he has to play for me.
Well, he's 100% fit, otherwise Leeds wouldn't have sent him because he's gone back to Leeds for his rehab. He's obviously Leeds have sent him back, so he's fully fit now.
And he's fully training as well. That's what Clark said. So, right. So, I want to thank Matt, who came on earlier. Brilliant preview of Stevenage. I do apologise if there's a bit too much Stevenage in there. We'll change it going forward if people are getting fed up listening to the away fans, let's say. Lee, again, as always, thank you for joining. Pete, thanks for your time as well. Hopefully, we'll see you all tomorrow. Once Rotherham have got the win and we're doing a live after-match reaction. And that's it from me, unless Lee, you've got to tell anything yourself?
No, like I said, just make sure you get your tickets for the Legends game. Like I said, the QR's in there. Let's try and get the stadium as full as possible to show appreciation for our ex-legends and not only give it to charity as well in the Rotherham Hospice that does a lot for people in Rotherham suffering. Yeah.
Thanks, Lee. That's it. Cheers, everyone. See you up the Millers. Cheers. See you. Bye.
The Millers.